Hey guys, welcome back to Cutting Corners. We're here in the shop and we have two items to talk about today. The first is this Emco mill, and the second are some of these new tools that I picked up last weekend at the ArnFest in Illinois, up near the Chicago area. So we'll start over here with the Emco. This is the drill and mill that came with my Myford, and it wasn't really put together all in one piece. It came in various boxes, and I had to trying to piece it together and figure out how it actually attaches to the Myford. So what I have here is I've put it together partially, and I'll show you the spots that I'm stuck on right now. So the way that this works is it's a it has the motor up here, and it has the various settings for speeds. There's three different settings. You can go 1900 revolutions per minute down to 450 revolutions per minute, and you can adjust the speed here with the belts. And then you have the chuck and the spindle, and I put this cutter on here for you, and I put a collet, so it takes an ESX 25 collet, these guys right here. I'll take that out, and you attach the collet nut, and you can put in various size bits into the spindle. So that's all dependent on collets. I have three different collet sizes for this mill that came with the tool. So looking down here at this one, one second. So this is what the collet looks like. That's where you'd put your tool right there, and then this feeds into the spindle right here, and you would detach the collet nut and stick it into the spindle and tighten it down. And then I had to figure out how to attach it so that it's the bar, how the bar attaches to a table, or in my case the lathe. So I had these various pieces of angle plate that came with the tool. So I wasn't sure, was some of it for the Myford. I also have a dividing head right here. So I was unclear whether some of those parts were for the dividing head. And here's all the other angle plates and various pieces of metal that I was thinking maybe came with it. This is a kind of a bigger angle plate. There's this piece, and then there's a smaller one here, and a smaller one here. And I wasn't sure what this is for. So I tried fitting the Emco onto it, but it doesn't fit on there. And then when I go to the lathe, it doesn't really bolt to the backside of the lathe. And so what I did is I took this base right here, used the machine bolts, put that down, and then this table right here is actually just another saddle that I had for the Myford. So it's not really a table. Normally you'd get a milling table, and I've seen some on Emco, or some for Emco online. They're fairly expensive. They aren't manufactured anymore. But I will have to figure out how to actually get this attached to the Myford. So let me go show you how it would bolt onto this. So that table I was showing you is basically a second version of this saddle right here. And obviously you wouldn't want to bolt it directly here because you would lose your X and Y. So you want to attach it to the back of the ways right here. And you can see these holes right there. And they're all along the bed. So there's one there, there's two right there. And there's another 2, 3 right there, and one right there. But the bolt pattern is very specific, and it's about an M6 thread, which is different than some of the other threading on the lathe. So I'm not quite sure how it attaches. So I was trying to take some of those angle plates and then bolt them in here. But so far, I haven't really had any luck having the holes on the plate line up perfectly with the holes in the back of the Myford. So I think I'm gonna have to get some more angle plate, just kind of see if one fits just right. So that way, once it's all set up, the Emco would kind of sit up here, and I would be able to put something in the rotary table or into a vise right here on the um, on this plate, and actually use it as use the bed here as a milling bed. So I'm not sure. I'd like to have a standalone milling machine at some point, but it would be great just to have that set up in the for now. So that's the issue I'm having over here. But I'll turn on the Emco mill for you and just show you how it works. So I plug it in. I just have to be a little careful because it's not very balanced right now. So just I would you can raise and lower on the shaft right here. I have it pretty high right now, but runs really great, and really like to get this working. And then over on this side, there's a handle that I can attach here, and I think you have an inch and a half of quill travel, so I can raise and lower this about an inch and a half. So it's not it's a for a mini mill. It's not like a Bridgeport or some of those dedicated mills, but it allows you in a compact space to both have a lathe and a mill. Now, this thing was actually, after doing some research off of a Compact 5, and Emco makes their own lathe as well. So I'm not sure if this previous owner actually had an Emco Compact 5 lathe, or if they somehow had the correct angle plates to mount this to the Myford. So I'm still unclear on that, but the plates I'm dealing with don't seem to fit. So I'll let you know what I figure out in a few weeks. And then moving over here, last weekend I was up at ArnFest, just outside the Chicago area, and it's a celebration of vintage tools. And people were there with trailers selling woodworking equipment, selling some South Bend lathes. Saw a Logan Shaper up there that I was really tempted. But I, flew up there. I did not drive my truck all the way from Texas. So, I was kind of looking and finding some small tools. And I was able, actually, in the end, to find a nice gentleman who offered to drive down a saw that I ended up getting, and a Dunlap drill press that was very nicely redone. So he's driving it back for me, and I should be able to pick it up in the next week or so. So, really happy that the community helped me out there. And I'll let you know when I have those tools in the shop. And, I'll show you those then. So over here, I have this gizmo. It's not really super functional right now. I mean, it works, but I don't know if I would really be using it. This is a anemometer, sorry, and it measures wind speed. So they don't make these anymore. It was up in Rochester, New York, by the Taylor Company, and basically, when you turn it on, I can reset it here, and then you would apply, stick this up on a pole, and you can apply some wind, and then it would measure the wind speed for you. So that's a kind of an interesting gadget, and I was I was interested by it, so I decided I'll just I'll pick that up and bring it back. The second tool that I just stumbled on and decided to pick up was this machine vise, number 217, Miller Falls Company, and made in USA. And the jaws fit together pretty nice right there. So that's one thing to look for. If there's another vise there, but the jaws weren't lining up really well, so passed on that one. So when you open this guy, it has a swivel attachment in the middle of it there, so you can tilt for just the right fit. So you can put things on an angle and clamp it down. So yeah, I was luckily able to get that down here through TSA, but probably next time I'll put it in my check bag. And then over here, I picked up his dowel jig. You know, it was the price was right, so I just said, "Oh, I don't have one of these yet." But it's a way for making dowels, so it shows you how it works right there. There's a piece of wood, and you can clamp it with these clamps, and then you can select the dowel size that you'd like and drill through there and create a hole for a dowel pin. So as I was saying, last weekend I was up at the ArnFest up in Illinois, and I was able to tour the steam shop up there. And the steam shop is where they rebuilt old steam locomotives from back in the early 1900s, and they had 3 of those in the shop. And they were relying on volunteers to restore the various locomotives. And I was able to tour their large shop where they had very large machines that were, some of them were 30 feet tall, used to turn parts for the wheels of the locomotive. And I was also able to tour their small shop where they had a mixture of lathes and mills. And I'm going to include some footage at the end of this clip so that you can see they're a very cool shop. They had all different types of lathes and mills there. A lot of them were vintage, and it was a great experience. So if you ever have the opportunity to visit the Illinois Railway Museum, it'd be a great visit. All right, guys, that's it for now. See you next time. Wow, take a look at this machine shop, guys. South Bend lathe. This is an Atlas shaper. Another South Bend 10-inch Monarch. They got 2 Monarchs in this place. Bridgeport. This one here is another mill. Another Bridgeport. This one's smaller. This big old mill. And some other fabulous equipment. So it looks like a Haas CNC or a Haas lathe right there. A little bit more modern than the older stuff. Cincinnati right in the back here. Looks like a boring machine or a drill. This looks like a very old piece of equipment here. Definitely like this smaller Bridgeport. I could use one in my shop. And then we have some of these tables here, rotary tables. It's a nice South Bend. Everything's in really nice condition here. This is a nice machine. South Bend 10-inch. Almost like it as much as my Myford. And this other Monarch here. This Atlas shaper is very nice. Pratt Whitney lathe. Check out these big tools, guys. I'm on the outside now. This is called a Putnam. Some kind of lathe used for railway cars. Then over here we have the Bullard vertical turret lathe. This is a big one. I love all those hand wheels on the side. And there's the locomotive that they're working on here. That's a big restoration job right there.